Head coach Bob McMillan and his LA Kiss in search of win number 1 as they go into hostile territory tonight against the Las Vegas Outlaws and first-year head man Aaron Garcia. Monday night arena football. This past weekend was one of the greatest in sports history. Some stars were born, while others cemented their legacy. But now it's Monday night in Vegas, and Arena Rock gets into the real head-banging business. The Outlaws are off to a screaming start in their first season, while the Kiss have been trying to find the harmony between the pads. It is Monday night. It's Las Vegas. Kiss versus the Outlaws. It's on. A lot of excitement here in 2015.
Goes and gets it. Launches to the end zone. He'll take it for 6. Catch! Touchdown! They do it again!
Welcome to Arena Football on CBS Sports Network. Live from Las Vegas in the Thomas & Mack Center, and this was the epicenter of the sports universe Saturday night with Mayweather-Pacquiao, and the party continues on Monday night with the Los Angeles Kiss and the Las Vegas Outlaws. Hi, buddy. Glad you're along. I'm Brian Stover. Bob McMillan, as a player and as a head coach, the Hall of Famer, had never had a losing season until last year. First-year head coach of an expansion team, the LA Kiss. They went just 3-15, now 0-5 to start this year, so 11 straight losses. And McMillan, one of the faces in the history of this league, told us today he is certainly fighting for his job here 1/3 of the way through the 2015 season as we welcome in Big Ant, Anthony Herron. On the flip side, the Outlaws, an expansion team this year, off to a solid start at 2-2.
Head coach Aaron Garcia has gotten this team off to a surprising start because they weren't anticipated to have a winning record at any point in the year as an expansion franchise. They did have a disappointing effort last week against Jacksonville, though, and so Coach Garcia said coming off that bye week they weren't ready. He said they will be as focused as ever tonight.
Their quarterback is one of our favorites to watch, J.J. Ratterink, because he's not the most talented, doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's underappreciated, and he's a gamer.
He lit his former team, the LA Kiss, up for 9 touchdowns when these two teams played each other in week 3. And J.J. Ratterink, while he's not a guy who spits venom when you talk to him, you could tell in that contest that he wanted to prove a point to the franchise that let him go last season. He proved the point that week. He's got to come back out and play at his best again tonight.
Meantime, for the LA Kiss, Donovan Morgan on the outside, one of the most electrifying players in the league.
This picture Darren McFadden as a wide receiver, that's essentially what Donovan Morgan is. They call him the captain for a reason because he's 6'3", 225 pounds. He can catch the ball short and take it the distance. So difficult to bring down in space, and with 13 touchdowns, he was actually leading the AFL coming into week 5. I expect big things from him tonight.
This is installment number 2 of the Rockstar rivalry. That trophy goes to the winner. In the first meeting a month ago, it was a 61-48 shootout in favor of Las Vegas. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley's LA Kiss against Vince Neil's Las Vegas Outlaws. Monday night, Arena Football when we come back. Back here in Las Vegas, high above the Strip, it has been a fantastic weekend as we roll into Monday night, stretching this weekend about as long as we possibly can. Down to the field for our Hall of Fame quarterback, Seth Bonner.
Thanks, Brent. Down here with Hall of Famer Bob McMillan. Coach, as competitive as you are, how difficult has it been to struggle through this losing streak?
No, it's been a struggle for myself and this coaching staff because we're working really hard. But we got a great bunch of guys behind us. These guys are just as disappointed as we are right now, and we're hoping we can change that tonight.
How's the morale been? You're starting your 3rd quarterback this season. How will the guys continue to respond to you?
You know, we're just responding about our job right now is to go next guy up. And right now, with Adrian down, we know we have a lot of confidence in Matt, and hopefully he's going to do a great job for us tonight.
Appreciate it. Good luck, Bob. Guys?
Talking about Adrian McPherson, there's Aaron Garcia. He came into the league with Bob McMillan back in 1995. His first season as a head coach. Last year in Garcia's final season as a player, he played for the Kiss under Bob McMillan. their relationship, to say the least. It's safe to say it's strained at this point, especially based on what happened. I think you could argue Garcia was sort of forced on McMillan. He became a player and offensive coordinator. We'll get into that as we move along. Rules of the game, you see the size of the field, no punting, no stunning or twisting defensively. Ball off the net is live. One wideout can be in high motion. And here we go with installment 2 of the Rockstar rivalry between the LA Kiss and the Las Vegas Outlaws. And the Kiss gets it first.
All the Rock legends representing these two franchises in the house, highly anticipating this contest here in Las Vegas.
Ross Gornoff, third-year man from Auburn, sends it away. And Carlton Brown, a defensive back, will take it off the net for the 0-5 LA Kiss. Got to get one here tonight. This one angled near side off the iron, taken by Brown. Out across the 5-yard line, scampers and reverses field. Now crosses the 10 and gets drilled right there. Not a bad effort by Brown. And that's where the Kiss begin in their road whites. 0-5 for the Kiss, 2-2 with the expansion Las Vegas Outlaws. And Matt Bosnier is the is the quarterback for the Kiss, the third man they've used calling signals this season.
Baziner's in his 4th year in the AFL. He's started games over the years. This is his first time getting the opportunity this season for the LA Kiss, as he was brought in to be the backup to Brian Zepnewski last week.
Baziner back to throw, in trouble, dumps it off and just throws it away to the near boards. Matt Baziner making his first start of the year, 4th-year man from Georgetown. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 as we check out the lineups here tonight. Donovan Morgan will certainly be featured in his 7th season.
With good reason. He can catch it short, he can catch it long. He's got some of the softest hands in the AFL.
Baziner, quick strike over the middle, hits Morgan. A gain of 7, hit immediately at the 17-yard line. So Baziner to Morgan, and we should be calling that connection plenty of times throughout the night.
That'll be the safest way for LA to operate with a new quarterback in the lineup. You know, there's no problem with him targeting Donovan, Captain Morgan, repeatedly throughout the game.
35 catches, 13 touchdowns coming in for Donovan Morgan. And Baziner trying to gain some early confidence. Another quick one out to DeMarco Sampson, 2nd-year man from San Diego State, out to midfield.
They're facing, throughout tonight's game, a defense that's got a great pass rush up front. It's led by Terrence Carter, who started the season off playing healthy, playing extremely well, bringing it off the edge. And the pass rush they have sets up what the Las Vegas Outlaws anticipate being able to do in the secondary.
On 1st down from midfield, Morgan in motion. Baziner, near boards, caught. And a gain of 8 yards down to the 17-yard line by Teron Lewis, 5th year from Howard. He's gone 4 straight without a touchdown catch, and that is certainly news for the very productive Teron Lewis.
Lewis was known as a player last season with the Cleveland Gladiators. They caught a lot of late game-winning touchdowns that season that Cleveland had so many dramatic finishes.
And jumped up front, might have been Anthony Parker on the right side. Beg your pardon, Chad Anderson, the center, and they've had issues at the center position. It was Michael Diaz, but Anderson getting the chance tonight.
Out of anyone on the offensive front, you certainly don't anticipate the center to be the player with the false start. But when you have a new quarterback, the cadence, you know, the snap count, what you're used to hearing, it can get you out of rhythm with the offensive protection and the way they get off the football.
From the 23.
Baziner with time, launches, end zone, overshot Lewis in the far corner.
Teron Lewis has long speed. now that they're still, outside the 20-yard line, to be able to attempt to complete these corner routes, working towards that back corner of the end zone. The problem you have here within this venue, where stadiums around the Arena Football League have different shapes to them, the corners here are rounded very tight, so it does make the corner routes that much more difficult to complete because you have to really have great timing on the pass.
On 3rd down and 7, far side, Sampson diving for the stick, and I think he got it just inside the 15-yard line.
This is what we'll see quite a bit throughout the evening between head coach Bob McMillan, KISS offensive coordinator Matthew Salk. They've had to simplify the play calling with good reason, so we'll see Baziner throughout the game using a wristband to help him try to communicate what the offense is to his team.
They marked him down, as you see what they've done on 4th down, both teams. The KISS 35% on offense. They marked him down a couple of feet shy, so a 4th and very short for the KISS, and Baziner calls timeout. I mentioned earlier, it's got to be important to gain him some confidence, and he misfired on his first and his most recent, but hit a couple of nice ones in between.
And interesting, the decision there from Matthew Salk is actually, they thought about taking a timeout for a moment, ended up deciding not to, took the 5-yard penalty, but now this does give that space to operate like I was referencing here, because it is more difficult once you get closer to the end zone.
So they meant to take the delay, no timeout, 4th down and 6, more room to work. Baziner in trouble, penalty flag in as he gets sacked back in his own territory.
Make some noise!
And the KISS signaling that this one is against the Outlaws.
Personal foul, face mask, number 21 defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Dwight McLean, 5th-year man from Purdue, with a costly penalty, and a KISS benefit, and a 1st down at the 11.
It was an aggressive penalty from McLean because he approached the line of scrimmage and got so tight to the LOS. He was looking to jam the motion receiver. You see him there at the top of the screen. Got an excellent press on Teron Lewis. That was really the primary target that Baziner wanted to go to, but it was the fact that he had the hands up in the face. The officials threw it as a face mask.
On 1st down, Baziner again sacked back at the 17, and he is under siege in the last couple of sequences.
Well, Terrence Carter, there at the top of the screen, presses the pocket back with the inside shoulder. You get some speed in the feet of the offensive blocker. That opens up the edge, and then Terrence Carter uses that inside hand just to press the pocket back. Very good pass rush mechanics. It wasn't just about exploding upfield. It was about knowing where he wanted the rush to finish up and using the hands to get there.
They mark it at the 16. It's 2nd down and 15. They can get a 1st down at about the 1.5. And again, a delay of game.
Not completely surprising, just with the fact that you've got Baziner, who's only been with the squad for a couple of weeks now, making his first start for the KISS. Communication between he and offensive coordinator Matthew Salk seems to be a little bit struggled right now.
So now it's 2nd down and 20 from the 21. Las Vegas is yet to touch the ball. And again, wow.
Hey, settle down. Offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Now this is becoming a disaster for the 0-5 KISS on their opening possession, and now it's back in their territory.
50 blades, swing post, no one, ready?
4 penalties, 20 yards on this opening drive for LA. And now it's 2nd down and 25.
Go! Cut!
Baziner over the middle. Lewis down inside the 10. So they gained a ton of it back right there.
It began with Donovan Morgan as he was the motion receiver, the wing. As Morgan ran the post route, that took the top off the coverage and lengthened the space that there was to work. for Jerron Lewis. That allowed Baziner, who made the proper read, to complete the ball underneath.
A gain of 17, so now 3rd and 7. Baziner steps up, now knocked backwards, fires. Incomplete. Good job to just get rid of that one. It'll bring up 4th and 7.
Baziner under siege on this opening drive. Wesley Mawia coming around on what I used to call the Mac O stunt, where you get the Mac working opposite A gap from the side of the nose guard. Pass protection hasn't been as bad this season when you compare to the LA Kiss the way they started last year, but it certainly puts additional pressure on the protection when the quarterback holds the football.
Kenny Spencer will try the field goal. 10 to 15. 23-yarder right down the middle. He's now 2 of 3 on the season. And LA on their opening drive.
Spencer is good.
They made a lot of mistakes, but Baziner able to get some completions. They put 3 on the board. Here in Las Vegas, the Outlaws on offense for the first time when we come back. Vince Neal, the owner of the Las Vegas Outlaws, expansion, first-year franchise in the Arena League. Frontman from Motley Crue on their final ever tour. They're in the midst of it right now. He said he wanted to catch one more of his team's games before he heads back out. He'll head to New Zealand tomorrow and then on to Perth, Australia, as the Motley Crue final tour, which is sold out across the world, continues on. First touch of the game for Vegas, taken off the net by Gerald Young, and he's got a seam. Young across midfield. Touchdown, Outlaws. "56 yards for Gerald Young, who took one back 57 yards last week. There is a penalty marker down.
And the flag was on the LA Kiss. So the touchdown will stand. Gerald Young must have jetpacks in his shoes, because when you watch him return the football, it seems like every time he catches it cleanly, there's an opportunity for him to score. He doesn't always catch it cleanly, though, but when he does, you'd better look out.
Ross Cornell with the extra point, drills it. 7-3.
With 6:23 left in the first quarter.
4th kick return touchdown this season for Gerald Young, who I mentioned had a 57-yarder that he took to the house last week. How about that start for Vegas? Gerald Young, 7-3 in the first. .623 in the first. The Outlaws have yet to go on offense. LA with a long drive. Took up most of the first quarter, most of the first half of the first quarter. Then a kick return touchdown for Vegas as we head down to set.
Thanks, Brent. Down here with the electrifying Gerald Young. Every time we come to town and see you on national television, you make big plays. Take me through that return.
Man, you know, my teammates are out there doing a heck of a job. I saw the hole to the right, and you got to hit it, man. And once it's one-on-one with the kicker, you can't get caught.
When you're in that situation, do you guys always feel like you have a chance to get easy points on the board?
Of course. You know, I've showed what I can do this season, and my teammates believe in me, and I believe in them. So right now, we're hitting on all cylinders right now.
Appreciate it, G.Y.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Guys.
Set thanks, so that makes it 7-3. Cornell sends it away. Carlton Brown back for the Kiss, takes it off the net. Brown looking for room. And Brown falls forward to the 10. One more look at Gerald Young, who's taken 4 back this season. The Outlaws up early. Well, both Kiss and Vince Neal's band Motley Crue has sold over 200 million albums worldwide. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, co-owners of the LA Kiss, on the road here tonight, year number 2. Baziner flips it out, Morgan down the sideline and out to the 17-yard line, and this is far from what they expect. At the opening press conference before season 1, they said, we are going to win championships. They went 3-15 last year, 0-5 so far this year. Going back to last season, it's 11 straight losses, and those two men, they've said it often, we don't put Kiss on anything, just anything. We're going to put it on something we believe in, and I know they are, quite frankly, embarrassed by the play of this team, and that's more of it right there is Baziner. We've said it, he has been in trouble from the outset in terms of pass rush.
Set number 2 for the Outlaws tonight.
And part of the concern that they had was on the interior, starting a new center tonight, and then also having a young fullback in pass protection as well. Sam Campbell, they don't want to try to feature him out on the edge where they feel like the majority of the pass rush comes from the Outlaws.
Go! 3rd down and 9 from the 11.
I fucking said it!
And you can sense some of the frustration. We apologize for the language. That's part of the access, but the frustration is about to boil over, it would seem.
Obviously intense competitive environment here. The Rockstar rivalry, only part of it between Gene and Paul from Kiss, Vince from Motley Crue. But obviously these players, these professionals on the field, the coaches, wanting to make this happen at as high a level as they possibly can.
McMillan said today on the phone he's tired of looking over his shoulder, wondering when he's going to get chopped. Was very frank with us. Very long on 3rd down, got a man, and just out of the grasp of Donovan Morgan, streaking down the field for a sure touchdown.
Intended for number 1, Morgan, is incomplete.
Just out of the fingertips of Donovan Morgan. As he came in motion, the coverage dropped him. He did a nice job trying to track the football in the air, threw the hand up, you saw him there, but just overthrown there from Baziner. Seems to be more confusion here as the Kiss exit the huddle on 4th down.
4th and 14, just outside their own 5. Baziner launches, caught, Morgan right at the stick. I mean, right at it, and they give him a nice spot. It'll be a 1st down.
Now this particular play looked like Matt Baziner and Donovan Morgan have been playing together for years. A nice dig route as Morgan works through the contact, then he breaks it off and comes back towards the football. Extremely important to make sure the defensive back isn't in position, and Baziner staring down the gun barrel through a nice football.
I don't like his moxie. On 1st down, Baziner for the end zone. Too tall for Teron Lewis.
Baziner's a feisty guy. He's always been like that. That's what he's sort of known for in the different stops he's made throughout his AFL career. His offensive coordinator, Matthew Salk, as feisty as they come as well.
Aaron Garcia said, yeah, he's been a very vocal leader already just in his few days as the starter. Perhaps a little bit too vocal at times as he guns one to DeMarco Sampson, who crosses midfield in a gain of 7.
The coverage will dictate how frequently Matt Baziner will be able to throw the stack routes for them to work their way down the field.
Said head coach Garcia. Head coach, obviously, Bob McMillan. That McMillan said, we need him just to focus on what he needs to focus on. Morgan gets crushed, but holds on down to the 12.
That's an outstanding grab. It's a good throw and a physical catch from Donovan Morgan. You saw there, Donovan Henley and Dwight McLean coming over the top, delivering the thump. But Captain Morgan hangs on.
Gain of 12 for Morgan, who had 11 catches for 171 last week. And again, another dead ball foul. They've already had 5 penalties, and this will be their 6th.
Offense, number 71. Los Angeles is in the bonus. That is a 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's on Shannon Tavaga.
Let's go Red
Former
6.
All-Pac-12, or when he was in school, All-Pac-10 performer, but they're off the edge, just trying to get an early jump as Terrence Carter has been working him over off that left offensive edge throughout the first quarter so far. Tavaga was a good player coming out of UCLA as well. Had a nice career, signed with the Oakland Raiders coming out of college.
Go!
First and 20. And Cedar again sacked.
And so Mike Lewis saw Terrence Carter making it happen early in the game. He decided to come in off the opposite edge, one of the all-time great pass rushers in the AFL. Mike Lewis, the only player in AFL history with 3 consecutive 10-plus sack seasons in his career. He's been the additional rusher. He hasn't started a lot of games so far for the Outlaws, but he's been a situational pass rusher who's gotten more effective.
He's 5th all time with 47 career sacks. This one batted down. Between the delay of games, the false starts, pass gets batted down, sacks, it's been a struggle at the line of scrimmage.
That's why I used to call a mirror technique, where you're anticipating the offense is going to throw a quick pass to the field side, so use that defensive end as opposed to losing him up the field, creating a throwing window. Terrence Carter takes one step beyond the line of scrimmage and then just flattens out to try and bat the ball down.
LA 2 of 5 on 3rd down. Their second possession of the game, 3rd and long. Baziner guns it, nearly picked off, and then incomplete down in that blind corner. It's one of the unique parts of this arena. Down in that corner, it becomes difficult to see, but good look here.
Tanner Varner has been playing more field corner in recent weeks. He's able to undercut that route, nearly makes the play. He's got outstanding hands. Really surprised he didn't make that difficult catch.
End of the first. A 4th down and 21 for the LA Kiss when we come back. How about this? The Vegas Outlaws have yet to go on offense. They had a kick return touchdown and 2 long drives here for the Kiss. 7-3 as we head to the second. here in Las Vegas, the center of the sports world over the weekend. And here we are on Monday night with Arena Football on CBS Sports Network in a 7-3 game. Anthony, I've never seen it that I can remember where a team does not play offense in the first quarter of a football game.
Especially in this league. It's one thing if maybe that happened elsewhere, but in the Arena Football League, to have no offensive snaps in the first quarter, you certainly credit Gerald Young for his 15 seconds of action. And I don't know, I might want to get out a stopwatch and see if it really took 15 seconds for that kick return touchdown to happen, but aside from that, there's been no J.J. Ratterick.
LA has had a couple of long drives. There's Mike Shanahan, 2-time Super Bowl champ as head coach of the Broncos, of course, head man for the LA Raiders and the Washington Redskins as well in the NFL. So a 4th and 21. One of the reasons these have been long drives is a ton of penalties, 6 already on the LA Kiss. On 4th and 21, too high and behind the intended target, DeMarco Sampson. And finally, we will see the Las Vegas offense. And they lead 7-3, courtesy of a 57-yard, 56-yard kick return touchdown by Gerald Young. And there is the veteran J.J. Ratterick.
59% completions this season. Great 19-2 touchdown to interception ratio. And we saw him just a few weeks ago light up the LA Kiss for 9 touchdown passes.
They won the first meeting 61-48. Young is wide open, and he's been the guy so far down to the 6-yard line. And a big pickup for Gerald Young on the first play from scrimmage for the Outlaws.
Gerald Young is a mighty mite as a receiver. They list him at 5'10". I'm not sure if I buy that. So he's not a big target, but what I've noticed so far in his young career is that he does a nice job catching the football away from his frame.
Picked up 21, brings up first and goal. Ratterink with Jomo Wilson, the high motion man. Ratterink rolls with time and then throws it away. The Outlaws are 2-2, number 7 in the league in scoring offense at 50 points per game.
Jomo Wilson, the most experienced receiver they have in the lineup. He's gotten better and better each week throughout the season, as well as his former teammate, the head coach Aaron Garcia, has faith in the way he operates.
Ratterink in his 6th year out of Wyoming. Go! For only 124 yards. The blowout loss last week. Tucks it and runs. And Ratterink gets it down to about the 2-yard line. As we set the defensive starters here for the LA Kiss. Again, first time on the field in this entire game. We're already in the second quarter with the Vegas offense and the Kiss defense on the field.
Dominique Pittman has wreaked havoc early in the season. Player in his 4th year. He was actually the pass rusher that ended up taking out Nick Davila as they faced the Arizona Rattlers last week. Chased Davila down as he left the pocket.
He had a block kick and a sack for a safety in the game. Handoff, Jomo Wilson pushing off that right side, gets it down inside the 1.
The Kiss have some beef in the interior, especially with Antron Dillon being in at the MAC linebacker. Dillon goes 270 pounds.
Back, quarterback wedge, first down, ready?
Here, quarterback J.J. Ratterink there, calling the play as a QB wedge. 275-pounder at the nose.
4th down, somebody jumped as they tried to push the pile.
Oh.
The quarterback keeper. 60 jump.
5-yard penalty remains 4th down.
That's the center, Terrence Campbell.
It's the area of the field where Terrence Campbell has had some success as a tight end. Being able to slip out, get passes off. He's there and he leaves early as he works down towards the inside, just trying to, on the wedge, you're trying to execute where both of the outside blockers just work down and try to move the pile.
He's playing guard. Coach told us today he would start at center, but play guard here. Again on 4th down, end zone, batted away. And a nice play by Carlton Brown, and the Kiss get it back.
Trading stops. 2 defenses here early in this ball game, making their imprint. Offensive possessions at a premium. Defenders answering the bell in the red zone.
For the latest news, scores, and stats, log on to arenafootball.com. Whether you want to check out special features of the league's brightest stars or watch live games via the ESPN3 video player, arenafootball.com is where it's at. J.J. Ratterink finally getting on the field for the first time in the second quarter. But a goal line stand by the LA Kiss defense. And both defenses, as you documented, trading stops on successive possessions. So we remain at 7-3 early in the second.
And where the Las Vegas offense has had their most success this season has been operating in a similar fashion to what we've seen from LA tonight. Stack routes, short, quick passes, getting J.J. Ratterink in rhythm. The LA defense did a nice job undercutting a couple of routes at the right time to stall that drive.
They replace the first down stick at the 16. The Kiss with their 3rd possession from the 6. Bazina with time. Launches far side. Caught! Sampson, touchdown! 44 yards.
Matt Bazina was under major heat. He was able to deliver the football to the receiver in high motion. Doesn't get the cleanest release at first. Then Baziner delivers it up the wall to Sampson. Sampson able to evade the defender into the paint.
Spencer the extra point. First touchdown of the night for LA. They've scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions, and they take a 10-7 lead.
Baziner took the hit low from Wesley Mawia. Still threw a very accurate pass to Sampson. Little go long, throw long action from the Kiss.
(10-7) LA Kiss. Early on in the second, Bob McMillan's team leads and just got a 44-yarder.
The MAC linebacker, Wesley Mawia, as they run a nose twist stunt, he ends up getting the hit late, so Baziner can't step into the pass, but he's still able to put enough on it to deliver the football downfield to DeMarco Sampson, who kind of stalled, was hesitant, was a little bit patient in the way he initially ran the route, then got behind the defense for the big touchdown.
Baziner now 10 of 18 for about 29 and a touchdown as Spencer sends it away. Gerald Young has already taken one to the house tonight, and Young off to the races again. Young crossing midfield and down finally at the 21 of the Kiss.
Just earlier this season, Gerald Young became the only player in Arena Football League history with 2 missed field goal returns for touchdowns within the same game. He has got electricity coursing through his veins. Almost took another one to the house here.
(10-16) in the second. Monday night arena football from Las Vegas. And the Kiss leading the Outlaws in the Rockstar rivalry 10-7. Tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, don't miss We Need to Talk as some of the most influential women in sports discuss the game's most important issues right here on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. JJ Rattering.
Let's go right, Z back. 51 switch, Z pogo on 2-on-2. Ready?
Vegas offense out there for the second time.
Kiss defense was able to come up with the stop the first time Rattering was on the field.
Rattering escapes, guns it end zone. Too far in front of Jomo Wilson.
JJ Rattering's pass intended for number 15, Jomo Wilson, is incomplete. Second down and 10 from the 21.
Let's go left, Z back. 32 hits, right?
1 of 4, 16
right,
yards, and again, they did not touch the ball offensively in that first quarter, the Outlaws.
Backside receiver, stay with the 2-by-1 formation. Ball should come out quick.
It does, over the middle, it's caught. Down to the 12-yard line is Jason Willis, a gain of 9.
Left stack. Z back. 33 hits. Y pogo. 51. Z to left. Here we go. Z to left stack. 51 Z over Y pogo on 1-on-1. Ready? Give him some room. Give him some room.
Making touchdown here. Post corner option. Decision from Jomo Wilson. We'll have a 2-way decision.
On 3rd and 1 all day. Penalty flag is down, and Rattering fires it away in the corner. Flags all over the place in the secondary.
Illegal defense, outside rush. Number 3, that penalty's declined. Holding. Defense, number 21. Penalties after this is a goal and is also an automatic first down.
Cedric Bonner, you're down there just behind the Outlaws offense. This is only the second time we've seen JJ Rattering so far. How are you evaluating what they're doing so far in the game?
Well, I think they're getting everything they want. I feel like in and out of rhythm. He can't, I mean, you need to run some plays, and LA's run a tremendous amount of plays and just had one big play, but these guys haven't been on the field long enough for him to get in a rhythm. He hit his first pass nicely, but they're still trying to get some continuity, especially down here in the red zone.
After the penalty, it's 1st and goal. Rattering fires near side. It's that blind area down there. Tough to make a read, but it's incomplete.
I think Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley have a pretty good look at it from where they're seated.
Left, keep it on. Left.
More difficult for us.
I would say so. There they are.
Especially with these tight corners to the end zone there. You don't have as much space trying to deliver the football, so you're left with less options as a wide receiver.
Go! 2nd down and goal from the 6. Flip it out. Wilson to the end zone. Touchdown. No. They mark him down at the 1-foot line. Jomo Wilson. A pickup of 5.
Wilson's just going to catch what's essentially a swing pass. Getting some blocking out in space. If he was able to reach the football out beyond that stripe you see right there before crossing the goal line, it would have ruled him in.
Rattering calls his own number and plunges in. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
Another QB wedge play. Rattering's not a small guy. He's about 215 pounds. Able to just bury himself in behind the center, Kevin Myers.
So Gornall for the PAT. And the Outlaws lead it 14-10 with 6:12 left in this first half. Vegas trying to get to 3-2 on this Monday night. Mike Shanahan is one of the most successful NFL head coaches of all time. He's been an NFL head man for 3 teams, 177 career wins. His most successful stint with the Denver Broncos, winning 2 Super Bowls. Back-to-back in the late 90s. He's on hand here tonight. We will hear from him in moments, the 2-time Super Bowl champion head coach. It's been fun to watch just around town to see how many people kind of just stretch this into a long weekend after coming out for the fight. I feel like I've seen Allen Iverson, honestly, everywhere. He and I are somehow on the same schedule.
I don't know if that's a good thing, Stover.
Carlton Brown takes it off the net. Back to play here, and he gets chopped down inside the 5-yard line by Clinton Solomon. You can follow the discussion, #AFL on CBS, as we check in with Sed.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Coach Mike Shanahan, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Coach, what are your thoughts of this first half and the pace of this arena game?
Well, you know, this is my first arena game I've ever been to, and it's been quite enjoyable, but it's hard for the Outlaws to get a rhythm going when they didn't have the ball at all in the first quarter.
You know, come out here, how many, I mean, have you ever seen 4 to 10 fourth down conversion attempts in a football game?
No, I don't think so, and if you do, usually you get fired. You don't last very long in the NFL. But you can see they've got some guys playing extremely hard.
So they had the crush back in Denver. You never got a chance to get out and see the crush in the NFL?
You know, I really did. Elway, you know, he was, part ownership in it, and I know he really enjoyed it. You know, he told me I had to come out, but it just never worked out that way, and I'm really enjoying this game tonight.
Okay, outside of your friendship with Bob Uko, what brings you out tonight to support the Las Vegas Outlaws?
Well, you know, I've been, Bob was my quarterback back in Florida in 1980. He just did a heck of a job for us, and I know he was involved with this football team, and it's really great to see him and the job that he's done putting this thing together. Vince Neal's a great guy, and just want to be part of it, support him, and really enjoying myself.
Well, Coach, as a Denver guy now, I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Guys?
Great stuff.
Let's go, Brunner. Incomplete.
Mike Shanahan is a classy guy who's had a ton of success. And speaking of, there's Vince Neal, owner of this expansion team, and again, Motley Crue in the midst of their final ever tour. He's hanging it up. No chance of a comeback for him as a rock star. But they are in the midst of the tour, and he heads to New Zealand tomorrow as the tour continues, and then on to Australia. They will be back in America in a few weeks, couple of months.
I don't know. Vince is still youngish. You know, I mean, he's not so old that he needs to hang him up. No, this is. We'll see what happens. I guess I'm going to put a ... I'm not putting one period at the end of Motley Crue yet. We'll see what happens.
First down from the 15. This one busted loose and picked up by Vegas. Down the sideline, into the end zone for the touchdown. Wow, Laton Hudson. $17 yards for the defensive score on the fumble recovery.
Hudson has shown immense talent as a wide receiver, but here, as Sam Campbell fumbles the football away, Laton Hudson been playing jack for the last couple of weeks now for this team, able to scoop and score.
Hey, ever eating like that?
Try to.
Hudson scores defensively. 1-all with the extra point. Vegas leads 21-10 on the winless LA Kiss. Aaron Garcia, in his first year as a head coach, in charge of an expansion team, and they are well on their way. Still plenty of ways to go, but well on their way to a 3-2 start.
Campbell did have both hands around the football as he started to approach the defense. Looked like the defender. It's difficult to tell from that angle who was the play that came in and stripped it away off the edge. He was able to collapse both hands around the football, just raking it away from Campbell. And conversely, the Las Vegas Outlaws, a move was made at their fullback position because Joe Mortensen had problems with ball security, and so Mortensen has gotten some snaps on defense tonight while they switch their starting fullback. Bob McMillan really likes what Sam Campbell brings to the table as a potential player, as a blocker, as a secure ball carrier. Didn't display it there.
Campbell was a defensive lineman in college at Illinois State, made the team on an open tryout last year, and actually started the last couple of games last season. Gornall will boot it away with the Vegas leading 21-10 deep in this first half. Carlton Brown got caught up in the slack net. They'll bring it out as the officials blow it down. Be sure to check out arenafootball.com for all the latest news and information on the Arena Football League. While you're there, be sure to shop the AFL Team Fan Shop for the latest team gear. Check out arenafootball.com tonight. So they bring it out to the 5.
Both having a good time here on Blue Martini Field.
They have created a festive atmosphere. Their first year in the league. It's catch over the middle, going up to snatch that one, and taking it out to the 13 is Lewis, and a pickup of 8.
From a clock management standpoint, you know, most of LA's drives have been a bit more lengthy by AFL standards. Yep. If they can get a quick score here, they can try to find themselves in a 2-for-1 scenario. Then you get a quick score, you're still outside the 1-minute mark, and you attempt an onside kick.
Go! Second down 2, Morgan in motion. Baziner guns it deep down the sideline for Lewis. And out of his reach.
So Ron Lewis had initially throttled down. Hadn't really completed the route at that point. Baziner saw what he liked with one-on-one coverage.
His 3 of 7 on third.
Brown right, 8. Brown right wing, yell 50 bench, 8 stop on 1. Ready?
This, they're just looking to move the sticks. Bench route, essentially be a very short out route to work towards the top.
3rd and 2, Baziner wide open at the 15, getting absolutely tattooed, but holding on for a fantastic catch is Austin Franklin, a gain of 28 and a first down.
Austin Franklin, as a young player known for his speed, 4-3 in the 40. Bazina looks off the short route, delivers it up the side, and then a huge hit. You can hear it from all the way up here, Stover. Donovan Henley came in and cleaned his clock.
First down and 10 from the 14.
Austin Franklin, his first action for the Kiss, one of 4 players.
Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining. This is a media timeout.
They call a media timeout with a minute left. Franklin, one of 4 new players picked up. He's got the Kiss in a good spot here. Back here in Vegas, coming up on the Arena Football Halftime Show, we review this week's action. First half and highlights and stats as well, coming up on the Arena Football Halftime Show. Here at the 1-minute warning of the first half in a 21-10 game. But the Kiss, as Anthony mentioned, looking for a 2-for-1 to close out this first half. Matt Bazina making his first start of the year for the LA Kiss. Drops back over the middle. Getting the angle is Lewis, and he crosses in for the touchdown. 14-yard score for Teron Lewis.
Matt Baziner's pass complete to number 6, Teron Lewis. Good for an LA
Outlaws
touchdown.
defenders getting caught up in a variety of bodies that were in the way as Teron Lewis took the short pass, looking like Donovan Morgan.
Spencer has his extra point blocked, and the officials blow it dead here. So
The
with
point is
51
no good.
seconds,
By rule, if the kick ball crosses the line of scrimmage, the ball is dead. The point is no good.
which it did, crossing the line. So it's 21-16 inside this final minute.
Tanner Varner, of all people, coming in to block the kick. The jack linebacker / front side field corner, able to power his way through. Gotta respect that. But back to the touchdown. Just a short pass completed from Baziner to Lewis. Takes a quick 5, and then on the drag route, Lewis able to evade 2 defenders. Not much effort in the blocking there from Austin Franklin, but T. Lewis, they call him in LA, didn't end up needing it. So with 51 seconds left, enough time here remaining in the first half where I believe LA can at least consider the onside kick, especially with the rounded part of the end zone being so short, so sharp. Defending the red zone, scoring in the red zone more difficult here. Defending in the red zone, gives a bit more of an advantage to the defense. Would not be surprised at all if an onside kick is attempted.
Gerald Young is back deep, and he's got 2 returns for 90 yards so far tonight. One, a 56-yarder for a touchdown. The other went 34 yards. We'll see what they do with Kenny Spencer. It is the onside kick, and it's recovered. Markers down. Didn't go the distance it needed to.
Probably a player from LA offsides. Tanner Varner not only blocking the extra point attempt on the other end, then coming up here on the hands team. Able to field the football.
There are 2 fouls in the play. Offsides kicking team number 91. In addition, number 91 blocked prior to the ball traveling 10 yards. That penalty's declined. The offsides will be accepted as it is a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So with all that being said, Las Vegas will get the ball on the 4-yard line. And the coverage team still do need to be behind the football as it's kicked there from the goal line. Penalty called there. On Yosua Saliva.
Spot the ball.
That ball didn't go far enough before he made the block. So 2 penalties, and it's a 1st and goal for the Las Vegas Outlaws at the KISS 4. Handoff up the middle. Gain of a yard, maybe a yard and a half for Joe Mortensen, who just had a baby girl this week. Who's away from the team.
Their first charge timeout of the half.
Got back on Friday.
Timeout.
Parker Ray, it's her name. He spent some time with his family back in there. LA timeout. Vegas is able to been able to do it in every category, scoring touchdowns tonight.
It's been a weird and wild first half for the Outlaws. There's Gerald Young able to take a kick to distance about 56 yards. J.J. Raderick with the QB wedge. We saw here defensively. The strip is made. LaDon Hudson from his jack linebacker position evades 2 people into the paint. Every phase of the game on display here for the Outlaws.
72 is eligible.
2nd down and goal from the 2.
Sean Brackett in the game.
Brackett off the left side, fights his way in. Touchdown, Outlaws.
What the fuck?
They like to use Sean Brackett in this pseudo wildcat sort of look. See there, it'll be the fullback Mortensen leading Brackett through the hole. Doesn't pick up a clean block, but even as the defenders are trying to evade Mortensen, that takes them out of the run lane that Brackett's able to work his way through. Just knifing his way into the goal line.
The rookie out of Columbia, Sean Brackett, celebrates. Vegas, he's rolling offensively here. They've gotten a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown. Couple on offense now. 1 by each quarterback, and it's 28-16 with 40 seconds remaining.
And Stover, like we were talking about before the dribbler was attempted by Los Angeles, what that does is now LA will get the football again, and they still have 40 seconds remaining in the first half. So strategically, the thought process there from Bob McMillan, especially they had 3 timeouts remaining, this works out well for them because now they have an opportunity to be the last team with the football, and then they have a chance to try and score.
Bob McMillan's LA KISS has had the ball 3 times as much in this first half in terms of time of possession. Yet they trail 28-16. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons made the trip. This franchise, you don't want to hammer it too hard, but they've lost 11 straight, and they're tired of it. And McMillan was, you could tell the frustration on the phone when we chatted today.
We saw it play out from their inaugural season last year of the AMC documentary series 4th and Loud. Gene and Paul were very involved in helping the team get formed.
0-5 to start this season as Carlton Brown takes it off the net. Brown and the KISS after the 7-yard line as he crashes into the boards with 37 seconds. You kind of feel for a guy like McMillan. He's a Hall of Fame player. Up until last season, as a player and as a coach, he had never had a losing season, and now all of a sudden, last year into this year, it's 3-20. That's uncharted by a long shot for him.
Certainly is. He was the AFL Coach of the Year 2 seasons ago as he took the Chicago Rush to the playoffs. That led to him getting this job as the head coach of the LA KISS.
Morgan the motion man, flip it out near side. Out near the 10-yard line before he's pushed back is Lewis, who's been very active in this first half, a gain of 4.
Of course, here in the final minutes, so now we're more to the outdoor timing rules, whereas the receiver runs himself out of bounds or into the boards here. That's where the clock will stop on its own. Or at least the clock should stop on its own, but the clock operator here in the arena allowed it to continue running.
That's what Matty Salk was saying.
Timeout.
He couldn't believe it.
Los Angeles. Their second charge.
So they're forced to use a timeout, and 10 more seconds went off the clock. McMillan and Salk are all over the near side official. He clearly went out of bounds.
Well, perhaps the line judge ruling that as Teron Lewis caught the ball, the defender Tanner Varner stopped his forward momentum. And you will see the same thing in the outdoor game. If the forward momentum is ruled stopped by the officials and then the receiver is forced backwards out of bounds, then they allow the clock to run. So that was the ruling from the line judge there.
LA with 1 timeout remaining, 22 seconds, second down and 6. Baziner, here Morris, launching his body. Lewis trying to make that catch in the front row. The marker down right around the 5.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, a 19, defense, late throwdown. That's a 10-yard penalty and is an automatic first down.
You'll see Carter comes around the edge. That really ends up throwing down the quarterback late, Baziner. They called number 19. It's actually number 23, Terrence Carter.
So 1st and 10. From the 20, Baziner sacked again. Getting in there was Joe Mortensen, playing both ways. They said he would
The
play on the
ruling on the
D-line as
field
well.
is down by contact. The player was grabbed and went down to a knee. The ball is dead, second down. Timeout.
It is a sack here and then
Los
a timeout.
Angeles. Their third and final timeout, a 30-second timeout.
Make that another sack of the game.
Mortensen able to get in there. The Kiss taking their final timeout with now 9 seconds remaining. Vegas with 4 first-half sacks.
Mortensen began his Arena Football League career as a defender, playing that MAC linebacker position. This here in his time with Las Vegas and last season with LA. The last couple of seasons, he's been moved over to offense, playing fullback more steadily. But this is where he likes to be. He prefers being right there on the defensive side of the football. He was an all Big 12 performer for the Kansas Jayhawks.
2nd and 15 from the 13 with 9 seconds left. Baziner slings it, caught. Lewis breaks 1 tackle, spins, lost it. LaDon Hudson again. Penalty marker down as Hudson returns his 2nd fumble. This one inside the 20, but 3 flags down behind the play. And a man down as well for the Kiss at Shannon Tavaga.
Multiple bodies on the ground right now.
All flags are for the same foul. During the return, an illegal block below the waist, number 53 of the offense. By rule, that penalty is accepted and ends the half.
So there you have it. A penalty on the offense ends the half. Tavaga is down for the Kiss. In fact, 2 players down for the Kiss. They are so unbelievably snake-bitten with injuries in their whole existence as a franchise. Lewis finally helped up there, but this is kind of par for the course, unfortunately. As I said, is going to be joined here by Aaron Garcia.
Thanks, guys. AG, pretty good performance in that first half. It looked like after the initial touchdown return, you guys had a hard time getting that offense in rhythm.
Well, we talked about it. We hadn't been on the field the whole first quarter. We got them over here. We're talking about go jog in the parking lot and stay loose. You know, so I mean, we should be able to punch it in from the 1, and that's something we're going to have to solve. We haven't done a good job of that short yardage yet this year. That heavy package works pretty well for us, so we got to work on that a little bit more.
Talk about your defensive effort in that first half and turning LA away.
A lot of guys working hard, and we've made some adjustments this week. I think the secondary played better, but up front, those guys are going after him.
Appreciate it, AG.
All right, thank you. GIA, love you.
Guys.
Here at the Thomas and Mack Center, halftime. 28-16, the Outlaws with the lead. You're watching Arena Football on CBS Sports Network with the halftime show on the other side of this break. Back at the Thomas and Mack Center, start of the 3rd, 28-16, Vegas leads the LA Kiss. Kiss trying to avoid an 0-6 start and their 12th straight loss going back to last season. The Outlaws trying to get to 3-2. They started 2-1, then got absolutely drilled 60-28 by Jacksonville. And this has been a nice bounce back through one half of football. Again, you get the lead despite only 44 yards of offense and not touching the ball offensively until the second quarter. But Aaron Garcia, one of the great quarterbacks in the history of this league, is enjoying some early success as a head coach.
And Bob McMillan, as far as their initial roster for the LA Kiss, did a nice job recruiting talent to join his team. He already had Donovan Morgan from last season, but he added, as we talked about at halftime, Adrian McPherson was the opening day starter. He wasn't completely back in rhythm through the initial games of the season. He's, of course, had to leave the lineup with the injury like we talked about at the half. But adding Teron Lewis as a wide receiver, he felt good about Sam Campbell as a fullback and what he'd be able to do in helping to shore up their pass protection offensively. For whatever reason, it just hasn't quite come together for the LA Kiss, but they're still right here in this ball game, as they tend to be week in and week out. For the LA Kiss franchise, finishing games is where they've fallen short.
Spencer sends it away. Second half begins. Gerald Young. Young slips out of one tackle, lost his shoe. Even when it's not a huge return, it's exciting when Gerald Young, something's going to happen. That time a shoe went flying, his left shoe into the air.
And 10 for the Outlaws.
Right, wide back, 51, stop, wide open.
Here we go.
Young just trying to skip his way out of a tackle, was able to do so. But the kick coverage player came up with nothing but a shoe top, ended up tossing it to the side.
72.
Go! From the 14, J.J. Rattering comes in. Too low that time for his intended target over the middle.
Attempting to get that football to Jason Willis. Just joined the team this week.
They told us Willis might wear number 10.
That was the word on the street. That was the rumor.
But possibly 7. And so he comes out in 6.
The 6 wasn't listed as an option.
3 of 8 for Rattering with a touchdown run. I mean, we're in the second half in arena football, which is known for high octane, big numbers. And he's only 3 of 8, yet he's got the double-digit lead. Rattering far side into the boards. Off the catch is Jason Willis, 8th year from Oregon, as we check in with Sed.
Hey, thanks, guys. Talked to Bob coming out at halftime. He said just way too many mistakes, and they've got to start catching some breaks. You will see Joe Clancy, rookie out of Merrimack. He will make the start in the second half and give him an opportunity to get things going. They felt like they've left too many points out there on the field. They're going to give him an opportunity to get the Kiss offense started.
So McPherson, the starter, went down with a season-ending injury. Brian Zibidnewski was released on a recallable assignment this week. They're down to third quarterback, and now with Clancy, when they get their first touch of the second half, it'll be their 4th quarterback as Jomo Wilson takes it out to midfield.
That's interesting, so we'll see how that plays out once the LA Kiss get back on the offensive side of the football. They had the 2-for-1 possibility there towards the end of the first half, where if they could have put points on the board, this would have been a nice opportunity to come up with a stop and potentially take the lead. Offense didn't come through with the score, but now the defense really needs a big stop here versus the Las Vegas offense.
Go! Willis, the motion man, Rattering. Hits Willis. Touchdown! 25 yards and a score for the Outlaws. Penalty marker down, though, back at the 20.
72, Will.
Holding offense. Number 71. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
Kevin Myers, the center.
They tried to wash the pile down as they had several rushers working towards the boundary side. There at the center position, Myers watches the nose work away. I didn't see the hold there from the way it looks, but J.J. Rattering just got tattooed as Dominique Pittman worked his way inside.
Myers from New Mexico Highlands, guilty that time, and it's a 1st and 20. That negating a touchdown. Roderick rolls left. Fires it out of bounds. Row 2 with a nice catch. And a take-home souvenir for that fan.
That's a nice grab.
That's one thing. He earned that one. It's one thing when the ball lands in your lap, but he made a nice snag.
Second down.
Roderick rolls out of the pocket, guns it downfield, looking for a souvenir. Nice hands catch there.
That's the thing. He didn't bring it into his body.
I like to describe that as quiet hands, where you can really trust the football away from your cage. It's impressive.
Timeout.
Timeout.
Las Vegas. Garcia wants to talk it over with Roderick. 11-19 in the third. 28-16. (28-16) early in the third. And the Outlaws 2-2 so far, 50 points per game. That's middle of the pack of the AFL. First in return yards, and we've seen evidence of that with Gerald Young tonight.
I guess when your team's called the Outlaws, it gives you the opportunity for all kinds of different outfits to try and wear it, make it look cool.
Roderick on second down, wide open man into Kiss territory. Willis again, who's been his top target to begin this second half, a pickup of 17.
Jason Willis, one of the new additions to this Outlaws lineup, but he does know the Aaron Garcia offense well because he was a former teammate of Garcia.
Let's go, 50 Iowa pass. Here we go. Hey, snap count on 2. Z to left trips, 50 Iowa pass on 2-on-2. Ready?
Here, Roderick telling the team to sit in there as offensive front. It's going to be on 2.
Go!
Iowa pass will bring a levels concept from the field side.
Quick hitter, Willis scampers his way inside the 10. And he picks up 8 this time.
First down.
Not that tight end, no. Yeah.
Not from the middle. Left Z back, 51 switch, Z Poco.
Left Z back, 51 switch, Z Poco on 1-on-1. Ready?
This will be Jomo Wilson working from the boundary side. He'll have the post corner opportunity.
Roderick with time, guns it. Nearly picked off by DeAndre Dix. Intended that time for Clinton Solomon.
Well defended by Carlton Brown. That Poco route, we got the receiver who can work to either direction on an option.
Tell them to block the front side DBs. Let's go. Hot 59, F flat tight end.
Let's go. Left trips. X between hot 59, F flat, tight end screen right on 1-on-1. Ready? Here we go, here we go.
Pay close attention to Terrence Campbell here to the field side.
Will Wright, the fullback, dumps it off. There it is. Campbell to the end zone. Nice call, Big Ant. Nice call. Las Vegas, and they're on the board again.
It's one way to shore up the pass protection or your offensive line is struggling. Get the ball to your big tight end. Terrence Campbell knows what to do with it. He'll allow the defensive end to rush up the field, club him by. Now J.J. Roderick just lures the defenders in. Outstanding block in space from Kevin Myers. And Campbell, another opportunity to dance after hitting the paint.
Ross Cornell. Down the middle. 35-16 with 8 minutes to play in the third.
Hey, let's get it out. 35 remaining in the third quarter. It is the Outlaws 35, the LA Kiss.
Terrence Campbell. The big man rumbles in. Outlaws up big. Our next arena football game on CBS Sports Network, Saturday night, May 16th at 7, as the Tampa Bay Storm take on the Orlando Predators in the I-4 War. Tune in Saturday, May 16th, 7 Eastern, only on the CBS Sports Network. Terrence Campbell from 9 yards after the score, and he's with Seth.
Thanks, Brett. He's trying to call over the rest of the big fellas over here. Give him some love. TC, take me through that tight end escape play there.
Man, I want to thank God first, man, but it was just a tight end screen where we set, and we let them get upfield. And my center made a great block for me. Everybody else did a great job along the offensive line, my boys, and I was able to get in the box because of the team effort. Yeah.
Knowing that you've been able to get it into the zone, how often do you practice these plays with AG?
Every day. You know, we have a good time every day with it. You know, he called them, try to end practice with it, or try to start practice with it, just get everybody riled up and ready for the day.
Big guys getting some love. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you know it. All day.
This one marked out at the 18-yard line here as Campbell scores to make it 35-16. Getting some love from Kevin Myers, the center, and Will Wright, the fullback.
Whole squad.
Well, Terrence Campbell's going to have to continue to come up with more touchdown celebrations. He had 2 touchdown grabs for the Orlando Predators last year. That's already his 3rd touchdown grab this season with the Outlaws.
New quarterback for the Kiss. They go on offense for the first time here in the 3rd. Joe Clancy, 64% career passer at Merrimack, now getting his first taste of the Arena Football League. Sampson makes a man miss, another man, and finally down at the 4-yard line, a pickup of 14 for DeMarco Sampson.
That was an impressive move there out in the field from DeMarco Sampson. He missed some time this season recovering from a hamstring injury. Looks pretty healthy at this point, able to pick him up, put him down, breaking defenders off out in space. Sampson actually second cousin of Icky Woods, of all people. See if we get the shuffle if he gets into the end zone here.
This communication that time intended for Teron Lewis. Joe Clancy, 215-pound rookie out of Merrimack, and he was in camp earlier this year with San Jose, now getting his chance with the LA Kiss, the 4th quarterback they have used this season.
Kiss coaching staff have marveled at the arm strength of Joe Clancy.
Oregon in motion, dropped the snap, recovered by Las Vegas. Mike Lewis takes advantage. They mark him down, even though he wants a touchdown, but Clancy getting a rude awakening here.
And Joe Clancy was the first one to walk off the field, while his teammates,
First and 10, Las Vegas.
His teammates from the Kiss are still on the field somewhat, trying to make the case that they should have the football back. But Joe Clancy knows he pulled out too early. Center Chad Anderson appeared to get the football back to him. He's pulled out too soon and forced the fumble.
That's the 3rd LA turnover. Las Vegas has not turned it over tonight. They lead 35-16. They get it back from their own 9. 6:40 remaining in the 3rd. And Rattering comes it deep. Got a man, Jomo Wilson. Touchdown, 41 yards.
J.J. Rattering complete to number 15, Jomo Wilson for a touchdown.
Protection in the pocket for J.J. Rattering. Holds up solid. You see there, just a great arc to the pocket, able to stand cool, calm, and collected. Delivers the strike down the field to Jomo Wilson.
In to attempt the extra point.
6 to play here in the 3rd. Extra point. They'll blow it that first. Gotta back the cheerleaders off the field.
They got a little anxious. Still got to kick the extra point first.
Right, because you can return them as long as it doesn't cross the line.
Didn't see it.
Scrimmage. And now it's Cornall down the middle. 42-16 with 5.5 remaining. And Rattering on target that time.
J.J. Rattering started the game off being a bit off rhythm. But some go long, throw long action here from the Outlaws passing game. And Jomo knows what to do.
J.J. Rattering, after a slow start, after sitting the entire first quarter because the offense never got on the field, he's now 8 of 15 for 114 and 2 touchdowns, a long one there to Wilson.
You know, J.J. Rattering, Iowa, baby, let's get it. No, I'm a Gamecock, I'm a Gamecock. Go Cops, go Cops.
What he said.
Good stuff. And they are enjoying themselves, and they should be. They can hold on here. They would get to 3-2 as an expansion team. I think the players are set to go here. The cheerleaders are still out there. Join the conversation, hashtag AFL on CBS. 5:38 in the third, it's 42-16. Rattering and the Las Vegas Outlaws trying to send the Kiss to an 0-6 start and their 12th straight loss going back to last year. Sent it away, and Carlton Brown off the net. Brown gets blown up at the 5.
I like the tenacity that Donovan Henley plays with. He has a tendency to impose his will on people on the football field.
Number 2, Donovan Henley on the stop for the Outlaws.
Henley didn't need to make this tackle himself. He forced one of the Kiss teammates to make it for him. That's once you're inside the 10-yard line. When I used to coach the kickoff team, inside the 10 is the attack zone. You're done avoiding people. You're not trying to slip around blocks because that's where return lanes come from.
So Brown is down with the Kiss down big. .529 third quarter. Carlton Brown taken off the field for the Kiss. Rattering 8 of 15, but been looking at that elbow a little bit during the timeout. Appears to be okay. See, the turnover issues been a huge factor for the Kiss struggles. Injuries as well. You saw Brown go down. They had back-to-back weeks already this season where key players went down, receivers, during warm-ups. Going back to last season, it really does feel like this team has had a ton of bad luck now in their second year of existence.
It certainly does. There's bad luck involved, and then there's certainly some bad execution that goes in there as well. Go back to last season, offensively, the struggles they had.
Joe Clancy, too high that time, and that's the row that you don't want to hit. That's the key row right there with Mike Shanahan and Vincent Neal as well.
Well, Coach is deeply involved in some nachos right now, or there was a great opportunity for him to make a one-handed snag.
Somebody got some type of refreshment knocked to the floor. Morgan in motion. Clancy near boards. Penalty marker down as the pass is caught by Lewis. First down to the 17, and we'll check the flag.
Both flags are the same foul holding offense. Number 70, penalties after this to the goal. Third down.
Michael Diaz.
Curious to get Cedric Bonner's thoughts on LA bringing the new quarterback in, Matt Maziner, but only had the first half to sort of try and work his way into this offense. I'll be curious after this snap to hear Ced's thoughts on putting Clancy in.
Here comes Clancy again. In the end zone in trouble on third, and now throws it away. What do you think, Ced?
I feel like there's too many missed opportunities in that first half. They felt like Maziner didn't get the plays done when he had opportunities to make those plays. You know, to make things worse for these guys, Tavago's out. They had to move Mike Diaz back, so they're without their best offensive lineman as well, and a rookie quarterback. It's going to be real tough on the LA Kiss in the second half.
And just in case anyone's wondering, on Twitter, Cedric Bonner has no plans on coming out of retirement.
That's what McMillan told us today. It's on 4th down, launches, gotta have it, and it's behind the receiver and into the crowd, intended for Morgan. Kiss turned it over on downs. And that's what McMillan said. There just is not much out there in terms of quarterbacks that are ready to play at this level in this league, because it's not the same as outdoor football.
We saw it this past Saturday night on ESPN2. B.J. Coleman stepped in for an injured Nick Davila. He got the start. He was a former draft pick of the Green Bay Packers. Spent a couple of seasons in the NFL. Had an outstanding arm, but the strength of the arm, the ability to potentially play the outdoor game doesn't always correlate to being a quarterback in the Arena Football League. There's a different skill set that's necessary here. The timing and the angles you have to throw the football with.
32 X-fade option, right quick out.
So Raderick back to work here.
Left, X back inside. 32 X-fade option, wide quick out on 1-on-1. Ready? Let's go, let's go, let's go.
First and goal just outside the 5.
Fade option will be out to the corner.
Raderick near boards, batted down. Good defense by Hicks.
Second down.
In a bigger end zone, there would have been an opportunity for Hudson to convert that up top. But again, just going back to these rounded end zones we have here at the Thomas and Mack Center on Blue Martini Field.
Do you prefer the squared ones or the round ones more?
Quick to see.
The squared ones give you more of an offensive opportunity.
33, quick to see on 1-on-1. Ready? 33.
The receivers will be tasked with blocking out in space. Z receiver Clinton Solomon.
Quick out, got a man, and Wilson takes it in. Back-to-back touchdowns. This one from 6 yards out for Jomo Wilson.
Touchdown! J.J. Raderick, number 15, Jomo Wilson.
Injury timeout.
Clinton Solomon will come in high motion. His responsibility to block the inside receiver. Hudson takes out the other guy. That allows Jomo Wilson to work backwards on the swing pass, catch the football cleanly. This is the Las Vegas Outlaws offense in 2015. Receivers being unselfish, getting blocks on defenders in space, and the more they practice stalk blocking, the better they get at it in game, the more difficult they are to defend.
And we need to point out, this is without Tyson Poots, a star who came over from the Rattlers and in game 1 had 7 catches for 123 and 3 touchdowns. Hasn't played since because of a lingering injury.
And you saw him, Stover, several of those catches of the outstanding variety, snatching one-handed grabs behind himself. Tyson Poots is a big-time player when he's healthy. This showing the depth that's now available for the Las Vegas Outlaws at that position.
He's got a hamstring, and last week in practice they thought he was good to go, but they tweaked it at one of the last. There's Poots there, but towards the end of one of the midweek practices, tweaked it again, so he continues to sit out. But here tonight, they're okay without him, well on their way to 3-2.
Where you need to be really good in football, no matter whether you're talking arena football, collegiate, or the National Football League, you need a defensive front that can affect the game and a quarterback that can make timely plays. J.J. Raderick has been great about not shooting this team in the foot offensively, and their defensive front can get after the QB.
If you want access to every AFL game at once, go to arenafootball.com, click AFL Live for an online broadcast of games around the league via the ESPN3 video player. Or if you're on the go, download the Watch ESPN app to your mobile device and keep up with the AFL action as it happens. I don't know about you, Big Ant. I guess you're working most of the games, but I got the phone fired up, the iPad, I've got the laptop, and then the television. Because, you know, I've got that handy-dandy Apple device on the TV, too. So you can fire up your Watch ESPN on your big screen.
Well, we've got a multi-screen experience working up here in the broadcast booth as well. Between our pads, we got the game tracker fired up, we got the telestrators and monitors. There's a lot going on.
28 unanswered for the Outlaws. And Rattering now 9 of 17, 3 touchdown throws, and this one mishandled, and they will bring it out. Mishandled by
Kick ball
DeMarco
hit the back of the wall. By rule, the ball is dead. There was no possession in the end zone. It results in a touchback, 1st and 10.
Touchback 1st and 10 as it hit the back wall.
Spot the ball on the 5-yard line, 1st and 10 for the LA Kings.
Well, McMillan told us as Clancy back out there, he has struggled just 1 of 5, 14 yards. As Matty Salk, he and McMillan both, I think, would love to see rosters expanded to the point where you can have 3 quarterbacks to kind of develop a guy. I think that's a huge concern, and McMillan has had to deal with the struggles of that firsthand when you can only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster.
Certainly makes a difference. There was a point in the AFL where there was practice squad players available. It's not within league guidelines right now. But, you know, everyone obviously plays within the confines of the same rules. And so if you can sort of shape the offense in a way where you have an opportunity to keep a quarterback more healthy, like Kevin Guy referenced it over the weekend, that Nick Davila with that 93 consecutive game streak he had going, and Dan Rodabout with the Philadelphia Soul has an extremely long consecutive start streak going as well.
Clancy now 2 of 6. This one incomplete, mishandled by Morgan.
Well, that's part of what ends up factoring into keeping the QB healthy is getting the ball out quickly, being in rhythm. That's why we've seen J.J. Rattering take a lot less of the big hits compared to what we normally see him take. It was different when they faced Jacksonville last week, where the Sharks did a nice job beating up the Outlaws receivers, forcing Rattering to hold the football.
Clancy fires complete. Penalty markers down as Morgan escapes. And Donovan Morgan speeds down the far side. And finally taken down to the 8. Markers back inside the 10 at the other end.
Well, this play may come back, but I just enjoy watching Donovan Morgan with the football in his hands.
Holding offense number 70. Penalties after this to the goal. Repeat the down. That is the end of the 3rd period of play.
And that's Diaz, the center. They are banged up on the O-line. Penalty by Diaz negates that huge play. End of the 3rd, 49-16.
Now.
49-16. Las Vegas outscoring LA 21-0 in the 3rd to blow the doors off, and the LA Kiss in danger of falling to 0-6. Their backup quarterback is in there. It's Joe Clancy, and he's under siege. Sacked at the 2. And another play by Mike Lewis. Wovoda there as well, Mark Wovoda. As we check in once again with Seth Bonner.
Thanks, Brent. Down here with Commissioner Scott Butera. Commissioner, talk about some of the interesting things going on. We've got the Rockstar rivalry. How important it is for this thing to get off. They're playing for a trophy now. Talk about this rivalry.
Well, you know, it's great having rivalries in any sport, and it's amazing that you can have such drama around teams that have only been around for a few years, right? In the case of LA, Las Vegas, the 1st year, LA 2 years. And with the trophy and with the element with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley and Vince Neil and all the people they bring to the table, it just creates a tremendous amount of excitement. And this is what we're all about here at the Arena Football League. It's about having great football, but also great entertainment. And you see people from all walks of life, all different age groups, just sitting here having a blast. And that's really what we're trying to do.
It really is all-inclusive. It really is all-inclusive. And we're not only in the United States here, but we're global here with the Armed Forces Network. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, we love working with the Armed Forces Network. It's amazing to me how many countries we actually broadcast into. But we got such tremendous respect for those men and women who are fighting for our country that anything we can do to help make their lives a little bit more entertaining and ease them a little bit is what we're all about. But they've been a great supporter of us, and we're going to continue to work with them.
You know, this Las Vegas team has come into the league, and right now they're making a a statement here against the LA Kiss. They're dominating this game. How important is it for new franchises that want to get in to see a new franchise have some success?
I think it's great. I think because we're looking to grow our league, and to the extent that we can go out and tell owners that you can come in and have a good experience early on, that's important because we've seen so many expansion franchises in other sports struggle year in and year out and have trouble financially because of that. Here we don't have that. Here you can come in and make a difference day one. And there are so many places we want to be. If you look at the country, obviously the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, the Midwest, you know, it's just a great opportunity, and I think we can really use this to help expand our brand.
Well, we appreciate the time as always, Commissioner. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sid. Great talking to you. Thanks.
Guys?
All right, Sid. Timeout on the field off a defensive penalty. So first down coming up when we come back early on here in the fourth. Here in Las Vegas, 49-16, the Outlaws. Quarterback comparison with Baziner and Clancy, the two men used by the Kiss here tonight, the third and fourth quarterbacks they've used this season.
You obviously realize it's a difficult situation that Joe Clancy finds himself in right now.
Off the defensive penalty, it's a first down for Kiss across the 10. Completion near boards and out near the 20-yard line.
And so what they do at this point, you got the first down. They haven't picked up the additional first down, but now you're at second and short. An opportunity here, maybe hand it off to the fullback. That's a way to alleviate some of the pressure from that pass rush on Joe Clancy. They're setting up with these shorter passes an opportunity for him to try and beat the defense deep.
Morgan in high motion. Clancy looks for Morgan deep on the corner. Got him. Inside the 5. And a gain of 27. And a marker down back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding offense. Number 72, penalties half the distance of the goal. Repeat, second down.
Anthony Parker at the tight end position. It's difficult when that defender has a two-way go. You're the pass protector. They offset the fullback to the wide side of the formation. And so Terrence Carter started to work inside. I disagree with the call. As Carter tried to spin out, you see there initially Parker shuts it down. He does have the hand up high, but that's the rip trying to come through. As the defender spins out, he doesn't hold him, doesn't sling him down. I disagree with the call. That's a good block from Parker.
Negates a huge gain. Second and 11, thrown, nearly intercepted, then nearly caught. When the dust settles, it's an incomplete pass. Lewis almost made the catch off the Tanner Varner near interception.
It's one of the more vivacious incomplete passes of the season so far. Tanner Varner, Mr. Primetime himself to the field side. Another drop. You never see Tanner Varner dropping interceptions. The second time he's done that tonight. But then he nearly bats the ball to T. Lou. And then T. Lou just volleyballs it to the ground.
Third down. Clancy. Morgan's wide open. What a catch. First down into Vegas territory.
Speaking of vivacious, going back shoulder with the left hand by itself. Donovan Morgan snatching the football away from the wanting hands. That's an interception waiting to happen. Dwight McLean really wasn't even looking up at the football. A lot of traffic on Blue Martini Field here. A lot of folks, a lot of bodies.
Got some foot traffic. Quick strike, again complete. Lewis avoids a couple of tacklers and takes it down to the 6. Back-to-back really nice plays. Have 18 and 16 yards from Morgan then Lewis.
This is the area of the field, especially for a young quarterback, that will be so difficult because the end zones are only so deep. So they're supposed to be 8 yards deep, but we've talked about the rounded parts of the corners of the end zone and why that's so tough for them to deliver the football to.
Clancy looking for Morgan, who was held up, no call. The coverage by Dwight McLean.
And Cedric Bonner, you're down there at field level. I don't know if your first career start, I doubt it was after only being with the team for a few days like the situation Clancy's in here. But what he finds himself in is now having these 8-yard end zones and the tighter corners. Describe what that's like trying to deal with that as a QB.
Well, I think you have some routes that you like working to the outside. It takes away any kind of double level, high-low kind of on the edge there. Corner to a flat, takes that away. So now you got to work your pivot routes and those kind of things. And when they're grabbing, letting them hold, it makes it tough to complete that stuff.
Clancy from Morgan again, too tall. Big collision in the end zone with Don Henley in coverage, and Morgan is injured. Wow. Well, you hope this is nothing serious.
The ball sails high on Clancy, and there's two different defenders converging on Donovan Morgan in the end zone.
Maybe wind knocked out of him?
Yeah, it looked like they both kind of fell down on the football. Don't want to speculate on it, but it was a tough situation. They're allowing a lot of grabbing and tugging in the interior when receivers are trying to run and work away from them. They're grabbing jerseys. They're letting them play, but as a receiver, and you know this better than anybody, as a receiver, just like as a D lineman, you got to keep working and rip through that grab and hold.
We see offensive coordinator Matthew Salk. He's pretty fired up. He feels like the flag should have come out from what Seth Bonner was just talking about down there at field level. A lot of jostling from the defensive backs. And said, when you used to, it's one thing to be a quarterback and you called your own plays during that. You've been an offensive coordinator in this league as well. When you see that, is it incumbent upon you as the OC to start to teach your receivers to start to work into that contact, to play with some physicality down in the red zone?
It absolutely is, Anthony. It's everything you've got to make these guys not look for a whistle. And if you play looking for a whistle and all of a sudden some team comes up and wants to be real physical and they allow them to play, you're going to get hurt. And we learned that early on in our career with Arizona. You got to play through the whistle and expect no call to be made.
Morgan will be taken off. Third down and goal from the 6. Joe Clancy rolling out and throws it away. So now 4th down and goal.
So we'll see what the continuing status is of Donovan Morgan later on, but Austin Franklin comes into the lineup now.
Brings up 4th down and goal for the LA Kiss.
So Joe Clancy steps into the huddle, 4th and goal from the 6. Now he's shown a nimble ability to start to run around. I doubt they called a QB draw, but the jack linebacker with Don Hudson will be important from a visual standpoint.
Lewis in motion, Clancy for Lewis. It was behind him, incomplete, and the Outlaws get it back. With 9:21 remaining. Kiss unable to convert.
Rightfully so, this game has been dubbed the Rockstar Rivalry. So this side of the helmet goes to LV. Opposite side of the helmet belongs to LA. Now whoever wins, they actually get to take that trophy from one city to the next, maintain ownership of it. This is one other way to sort of boost the rivalry between these two organizations.
Fumbled snap here by Ratter Inc. recovered back at the 1-yard line. Well, the first installment ever took place back on April the 11th, 61-48 win for Vegas. So they've got it at the moment. They appear to be well on their way to keeping that nice piece of
let's go left, wide back.
What you call it,
50,
what it's made of. It's not the prettiest thing, but maybe it's not supposed to be, right? I mean, it's a little gritty, and I kind of like it.
Go!
Go!
Raderick over the middle, caught. Hey, LaDon Hudson, we've seen him make some nice plays defensively.
Third and short.
And now on offense, making the catch there.
I don't know.
This is take 2 of the Rockstar rivalry, and you got front man for Motley Crue on one side, Vince Neil, then Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, of course, owning the LA Kiss.
What is that in the helmet?
If they press,
Not quite sure. I can't make it out.
32 hits on one-on-one. Ready? Yeah.
It's not a head. It's not a human head.
It's a good question.
Roving reporter Cedric Bonner on that.
Yeah.
Get on the case, Ced.
I want to be a rock star when I come back. Is it just,
yeah.
Once a rock star, you know, even as things decline a little, which, by the way, Motley Crue is still on tour, but
right. Oh, and
still,
and Kiss just came back from South America. Gene and Paul are still touring the globe.
So
Vince Neil and Motley Crue as well.
So, like in this case, decline really isn't even a word in their lexicon. I mean, they're just going to rock until the day they die. And now,
apparently all night long and every day. That's what I'm told.
Wow. Motley Crue is, they say this is it. Talked to Vince Neil before, and he's headed out to New Zealand to continue the tour. Tomorrow he's flying out, and then they will head to Australia.
That's one spot I haven't been yet. Maybe after the game, if I can sneak into the Vince Mobile, make my first trek to Australia.
I'd like to see how he flies.
I'm guessing he does it in style. My wife and I are hoping to hit every continent.
Right, X back inside, 51.
How many yet so far?
X poke on 22, ready?
Where are we at? We're at 3 at this
We're
point.
done,
Solid.
we're done.
Decent start.
Go!
6.5 to play. 49-16, Outlaws, Raderick end zone, intended for Solomon.
He's got to give him a little more, I think.
Well, it's difficult to miss Clinton Solomon high.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", he's got a nice vertical. Listen in, we got some chatter between Raderick and Garcia.
Take a look at your field corner. Okay. Right, Z to right trips. 51, Storm, wild.
Z to right trips, 51 Storm, Y over on one-on-one. Ready?
We're going to see Jomo Wilson.
Go!
Motion to trips. Over route will come over the top.
There's Hudson underneath. Pass caught by Wilson. And Wilson down near the 10. First down pickup of 13 yards.
Jomo Wilson on the reception.
Jomo, as he comes in motion.
First down.
He's got that option route down to Pat.
Suites and Casino.
And he rolls into it so easily. So that's where you can tell he and J.J.
X
Raderick
back
getting in
inside,
rhythm.
51 X over, Y poke on one-on-one. Ready?
Ex receiver outside. That's LaDon Hudson. He'll be on the over route.
Raderick launches it out.
Dominique Pittman continues to play hard. Certainly got to credit him for that.
Marker down back at the 18. Pittman
Holding offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Pittman has been a problem tonight. Same with last week when he had a couple of TFLs, sack from safety, blocked a kick, and that time Kevin Myers committing the penalty.
Kevin Myers had a great block in space that swung Terrence Campbell for a touchdown.
Let's go left, Y back. 32, Y sail, X hitch on one-on-one. Ready? Yeah.
Vegas is, are you buying Las Vegas or still too early to tell after 5 games?
I am. I'm a buyer. Believing in what I'm seeing.
Raderick in the corner route. Nearly a great catch by Hudson, who got drilled into the boards on that far corner.
That sail route.
I want to keep it
You
high.
know there's going to be an opportunity to work towards the corner.
Incomplete.
Raderick threw the ball on time, but you can tell they're still sort of getting these very shallow Thomas and Mack end zones figured out.
Left trips. 33 hits.
Z to left trips, 33 hits, Z over on one-on-one. Ready? 33 on one.
So it's only second down at this point.
Here we go, here we go.
You know you have the opportunity to just complete short passes, to see them working just beyond the line of scrimmage.
Hudson the catch that time, not much.
Oh, come on, guys.
Even when Rattering's upset, I mean,
a little bit of that golly gosh darn it.
he's the nicest guy. He's a really easy guy to root for, I'll tell you that.
He's an ordained minister. He actually officiated his sister's wedding. She got married.
Z to right trips, 50 in out, Z poke on 2-on-2, ready?
This is the missing element of the offense. That receiver running the post corner option. They haven't really gotten that down yet for Las Vegas. The Poco was really where Aaron Garcia made his money as a player.
Encroachment defense, number 44, contact. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Penalty on Campbell, the fullback, getting some reps on defense.
So when you hear that call Poco, it's an opportunity in there. They had Nomo Wilson coming around as the Z. Going to give you the opportunity to go for the two-way option.
Z to right trips, 50, switch, Z poke on 1-on-1, ready?
Look at those penalty numbers on LA, 13 of them.
Now they add the switch to it here. It'll still end up as trips.
Wilson out there and too high that time, off the iron.
I don't know if Cedric Bonner agrees with me or not. I kind of put that one on Jomo Wilson, where he rolled into it, ended up biting towards the corner late, wasn't decisive.
Right trips, X back inside, 51, X over Z poke on 1-on-1, ready?
You see it keep coming back to Poco. You're up by a number of scores here in this game. This is where the offense can take the next step. If you can figure out how to complete these option routes.
On 4th and 13, Rattering for the end zone. Receiver fell down, looking for a flag. Wilson, and he gets, well, there is a penalty marker, but it's back in the backfield.
Dang it.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 7 of the offense. That penalty's declined. First down.
So a turnover on downs. 2:14 remaining. Vegas about to get to 3-2. Back on April 4th, the reigning 3-time Arena Bowl champs, the Rattlers, faced off against the Outlaws in only their second game. The Rattlers got off to a good start, but in the Outlaws, again, second game in team history, they seized control in the second half, outscored the Rattlers 56-33 over the final 3 quarters. Gained their first ever win in franchise history, 70-53.
What a way to get it.
and they weren't bad against San Jose in the opening game, a San Jose team that's now 6-0. Garcia's about to get to 3-2. First year as a head coach, first year as a franchise. You got Vince Neal. You've got some serious momentum right now coming out of tonight, and especially the way they're doing it with a statement, bouncing back after a really bad loss last time out.
And you see him continuing to learn as a head coach, and in talking to him throughout this process, he knows he's still learning. Now, next week, they've got a huge game, getting to match up again with the San Jose SaberCats. They already upset Arizona. Now, the Rattlers were missing their top 2 receivers, but after that, they will see the Rattlers again. Got Spokane after that, who's at 1-4. Philadelphia Soul still undefeated. And, of course, the Cleveland Gladiators, who were the conference champions and met the Rattlers in the Arena Bowl last year. So the schedule doesn't get easy by a long shot, but you see games, and when we watch the way that the Outlaws are performing, certainly an opportunity to come up with some victories here, because they're playing as well as they're playing in the upper echelon of the AFL. They're not playing as well as San Jose, but they're playing in the upper echelon of the AFL teams right now.
Aaron Garcia, in his final year last year as a player, they kind of brought him out of retirement mid-season, and he was brought in as the quarterback and offensive coordinator, and I think it was a difficult situation for he and Bob McMillan, quite frankly, as he came out of retirement to play for the KISS. But he did get the opportunity to obviously coach a little bit and transition now from player to being a head coach, and now in his first season. Clancy guns it over the middle and complete for Lewis.
And part of that transition that Garcia is making, as we're talking about here, Stover, is he's been used to calling his own plays. Even back when he was a quarterback, he called his own plays quite a bit during his playing career. The time he spent as offensive coordinator setting meeting schedules and gathering people around running that part of practice, it's very different for him.
3rd and 5 coming up, 49-16 at the 1-minute warning here in Las Vegas. Back here with a minute to play at the Thomas and Mack Center. Aaron Garcia's expansion Outlaws will get to 3-2. Garcia, 19 years, one of the best quarterbacks this league has seen.
Most pass yards in league history, most passing touchdowns in professional football history by a long shot. Finally got his championship back in 2011, the MVP of that Arena Bowl.
Clancy, incomplete. On the other side, we don't need to hammer this at all, but the Kiss, this will be 12 straight losses, 0-6 start in year 2 of their franchise. It's interesting to see the discrepancy between these two very young franchises and the struggles of Bob McMillan's team.
And we'll see what the future holds. I mean, the pieces are in place. We talked about the roster they put together over the offseason, bringing in some additional talent. McMillan, a successful head coach. Walt Hausman, successful defensive coordinator. Matthew Salk, successful offensive coordinator. It just hasn't come together. And a 12-game losing skid. I mean, I've been a part of losing streaks at the collegiate level. I was a part of a losing streak with the Detroit Lions in the National Football League. They're no fun. What I would say is that the Kiss have come out and continue to compete. They show up and they play hard, but the execution on both sides of the ball just hasn't tied together.
So the Kiss, as an expansion franchise, begin now 3-21, while Vegas begins 3-2. So they've matched in only 5 games the win total. It's just, you just never know. Clancy, by the way, and that's the bigger issue. They got to find a quarterback in LA. I mean, Clancy was 5 of 18 playing in the second half after we saw Baziner in the first half. McPherson is injured out for the season. Zimnewski ineffective, they released him. You wonder what's next, quarterback and offensively, and they've got to protect better, obviously, as well.
There's a lot of turnover in the LA roster. Part of that you understand because players aren't performing up to the coach's expectations, and so you make moves. That's professional sports.
Sean Bracken, the backup in for Las Vegas. We'll just run out the clock here.
And with the lead that the Las Vegas Outlaws have, of course, here in the final minute, you do have to gain yardage in the Arena Football League. You're not allowed to just step back and take a knee as you do in the outdoor game. There's a big stretch. I think at this point, you asked me the question, Brett, I'm a believer. I'm a believer in the Las Vegas Outlaws. They've got a stretch of games coming up here, though, where they're going to see San Jose again. They're going to see Arizona again like we showed a moment ago. That's really going to say not only are they just for real, are they in the mix, can they make the playoffs? It's going to say how good can they really be.
Final 10 seconds in a 49-16 game. With a win, Las Vegas will go to 3-2. Vince Neil heads back out on tour. That long plane ride across the world is going to feel a little bit better for him as they win 49-16, now 3-2, while the Kiss, they fall to 0-6.
Well, the Rockstar rivalry right now, there's a 2-0 start for Vince Neil and his Outlaws over the LA Kiss. When we compare these two franchises where they're at, the 3-2 start for the Outlaws, we certainly understand why they're excited about where this franchise has the ability to go.
They beat them 61-48 a month ago. Here tonight, 49-16. The first-year Las Vegas Outlaws with the win. For Anthony Herron, Cedric Bonner, and our entire CBS crew, I'm Brett Stover. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Tune in for our next broadcast Saturday, May 16th at 7 Eastern for the War on I-4 as the Tampa Bay Storm take on the Orlando Predators. Been an outstanding sports weekend here in Las Vegas as we say so long from the Thomas and Mack Center.